picture this. You are standing right in the middle of a sea of blue.
Oh, wow, yeah.
At the iconic Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai. There's this cool 28-degree evening breeze rolling in off the Arabian Sea. But the atmosphere inside the stadium itself, it is absolutely boiling.
It's just electric.
You are watching a cricket match that hasn't just entertained a stadium packed with tens of thousands of fans. It has completely rewritten the record books. Welcome to today's deep dive.
Glad to be here.
So our mission today, we're unpacking a huge stack of live sports commentary, detailed pitch reports, and real-time match analysis from the 2026 ICC Men's T20 World Cup semifinal between India and England.
Right.
We're going right into the trenches to break down exactly how India posted a jaw-dropping, record-breaking total, and we're going to examine the fascinating chaos of England's monumental run chase.
It really was chaos.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because even if you aren't a diehard cricket fan, the intense psychological warfare, the strategic masterstrokes, and honestly just the unbelievable athletic brilliance of this specific match are universally captivating.
They really are. It's a masterclass in high-pressure performance and, well, human psychology. And to fully appreciate what unfolded out there on March 5th, 2026, you really have to understand the historical baggage these two teams are carrying.
The narrative leading into this is wild.
Exactly. I mean, this isn't just a regular semifinal. This is the third consecutive time that India and England have clashed in a T20 World Cup semifinal. It's a modern sporting rivalry that has been escalating year after year, building to this exact boiling point.
Let's rewind the clock for the listener for a second. In 2022, England embarrassed India on the global stage.
Oh, absolutely embarrassed them.
They won by 10 wickets, meaning they chased down India's target without losing a single batter. It was a flawless victory that stung the Indian cricket establishment deeply. Then in 2024, India got their revenge, knocking England out with a very dominant 68-run victory.
Right. So here we are in 2026. This is the ultimate tiebreaker. And the stakes couldn't be higher because the winner gets a ticket to the final to face New Zealand.
Exactly.
The pressure is just suffocating before the players even step onto the grass. And you could see that tension during the coin toss. England's captain, Harry Brook, won the toss and chose to bowl first. His stated intention was to take early wickets and quiet down that roaring Mumbai crowd.
Which brings up a really interesting strategic question. I was reading through the pitch reports for Wankhede, and they specifically mentioned the stadium's dimensions. It's notoriously small.
Oh, very small.
Like a paradise for hitting boundaries. So if you know the ground is basically built for high scoring, isn't it a massive gamble for Brook to let a powerful Indian batting lineup set the target? Why take that risk instead of putting runs on the board yourself?
It's a fascinating, calculated risk. And to understand it, we really have to look at the hyper-specific ground conditions. The commentary noted they were playing on what's called pitch 7.
Pitch 7 specifically.
Yeah. That strip of grass is dead center in the stadium square. That changes the geometry of the game entirely because it means the boundaries on the sides, the square boundaries, are just 65 meters away. And straight down the ground is only 75 meters.
Wow, so any decent hit is going out.
Exactly. But the reason Brook wanted to bowl relates to the evening dew. When dew settles on the grass, the ball gets wet, making it incredibly hard for bowlers to grip later in the night.
Ah, so Brook is thinking, let's bowl now while the ball is dry, and bat later when the wet ball is skidding nicely onto the bat.
Precisely. However, the groundsmen actually threw a wrench into that plan. They applied an anti-dew repellent to the outfield to try and keep the contest even.
Oh, that's clever.
Furthermore, pitch 7 had been cross-rolled. For those unfamiliar, that means the heavy roller used to flatten the pitch was driven across the width of the pitch rather than end to end. Okay.
This technique leaves a bit of grass standing up, which historically at this venue offers about 2.3 degrees of turn for the spin bowlers, while also giving the fast bowlers extra bounce.
So it's a pitch that actually offers a little something for everyone if you have the skill to exploit it.
Yeah.
And reading the post-toss analysis, India's captain, Surya Kumar Yadav, didn't seem upset at all about losing the toss.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, all of those specific pitch conditions played right into India's overarching tournament strategy. Yadav admitted he was perfectly happy to bat first.
Really?
Yeah, India's game plan was to put a gigantic total on the board and let scoreboard pressure suffocate England in a knockout game.
Well, the execution of that plan did not start smoothly.
Not at all.
India's innings kicked off with a serious hiccup. Opener Abhishek Sharma had been enduring a lean run in the tournament, and those struggles continued. He fell for just 9 runs off 7 balls, getting out to an off-spinner from England's Will Jacks.
And an off-spinner, just to clarify, is a type of delivery that turns into a right-handed batter. When Sharma got out, the stadium went completely silent.
That was the exact scenario England drew up on the whiteboard. Silence the crowd, remove an opener cheaply, and build pressure. But the silence in Mumbai was incredibly short-lived because walking out to the middle at number 3 was Sanju Samson.
And Samson put on an absolute clinic.
Oh, he did it!
He blasted 89 runs off just 42 balls, hitting 8 fours and 7 sixes. But looking through the commentary logs, there is a crucial sliding doors moment that completely altered the reality of this match.
The drop.
Yes, when Samson was on just 15 runs long before he did the real damage, he popped up what looked like a routine easy catch to mid-on off the bowling of Jofra Archer.
This is the moment that will haunt England. The ball looped up in the air, and Harry Brook, the English captain, positioned himself underneath it. He tried to reverse cup the ball right in front of his face.
Which means...
For the listener, a reverse cup is a catching technique where your fingers are pointing upwards towards the sky and your palms are facing the ball. It's standard practice for a ball dropping from above chest height. But Brook misjudged it, and the ball slipped right through his fingers and hit the ground.
Ouch. I want you, the listener, to just put yourself in Harry Brook's shoes for a second. Think about a time you made a highly visible mistake at work. You hit reply all on a sensitive email, or you fumbled a presentation in front of the boss.
We've all been there.
Your stomach drops, the adrenaline spikes, and your focus is completely shattered for the rest of the day. Now multiply that by 1 billion.
Literally.
You are the captain.
Yeah.
You elected to field. Your premier fast bowler creates the perfect opportunity to dismiss a dangerous batter early in a World Cup semifinal, and you just drop it. It is a stark reminder of how a single physical error completely shifts the psychological momentum of a high-stakes environment.
It's a devastating blow to a team's collective psyche. But we also have to give credit where it's due. Samson's incredible innings wasn't solely the result of a lucky break. It was the result of meticulous preparation capitalizing on that luck.
Right, I read about this.
Yeah, the sources reveal a brilliant behind-the-scenes detail. The day before this semifinal, Samson trained for nearly an hour with a throwdown specialist. He wasn't just hitting balls randomly, he was specifically simulating short-pitched bowling.
A throwdown specialist being a coach who basically stands a few yards away and hurls the ball at high speeds to recreate specific match scenarios. Right?
Exactly. Samson was anticipating that England's notoriously quick fast bowlers would try to intimidate him by bowling short, bouncing the ball up towards his head or chest. He spent an hour drilling his response to that exact threat.
That is the ultimate do-your-homework moment, and the broadcast captured the result of that preparation beautifully. Later in the innings, when England's premier fast bowler Jofra Archer tried to bounce him, Samson wasn't surprised.
He didn't flinch.
Right, he was waiting for it. He launched into a swivel hook shot, catching the ball perfectly and sending it soaring into the stands for 6. That specific shot seemed to completely break Archer's rhythm.
It did. Archer ended up losing the psychological battle entirely. He finished his 4 overs with figures of 1 for 61. For a bowler of his elite caliber, conceding over 15 runs and over is a nightmare scenario. Samson completely dominated the matchup.
And while Samson was unleashing chaos, he was building a rapid-fire partnership with Ishan Pishan, who chipped in with a quick 39 off 18 balls. They put together a 97-run standoff, just 45 deliveries.
Incredible pace.
But what really caught my eye in the match reports was what happened right after Kishan got out. India didn't just send out their next standard batter in the lineup. They completely altered their batting order, promoting Shivam Dubey to number 4 ahead of their captain. Why make such a drastic change in the middle of a World Cup semifinal?
What's fascinating here is India's commitment to tactical flexibility over traditional hierarchy. It was a classic horses for courses strategy. England was operating with 2 spin bowlers at that moment. Adil Rashid, who bowls leg spin, turning the ball away from a right-hander, and Liam Dawson, who bowls left-arm orthodox, which turns the ball into a right-hander.
Okay.
India looked at the data and realized they needed a left-handed power hitter at the crease right then and there to disrupt those specific spinning angles.
So it's a lot like bringing in a specialized relief pitcher in baseball just to face one specific left-handed batter. You ignore the traditional structure of your team to play the mathematical odds of that exact minute.
That's a perfect analogy. You are prioritizing the immediate tactical advantage over ego or standard procedures. Dubé is known specifically for his ability to hit spin bowling out of the park, and he lived up to the reputation, punishing the English spinners and scoring 43 off 25 balls. India identified the matchup they wanted, and they exploited it ruthlessly.
But even when the strategy hit a speed bump, India's momentum never seemed to fade. There was a terrible mix-up between the wickets that led to Dew being run out. Shortly after that, the captain, Suryakumar Yadav, tried to attack Adil Rashid, missed the ball completely, and was stumped by the wicketkeeper Jos Buttler for just 11 runs.
Which is usually a disaster.
Exactly. 2 quick wickets in the middle overs usually forces a batting team to slow down and consolidate. But India just kept their foot on the gas. Hardik Pandya walked out to the crease with an unbelievable amount of swagger.
Pandya's innings was relatively brief. He scored 27 runs off 13 balls, but the impact was profound. It wasn't just about the runs he added to the total, it was about the audacity of his stroke play. He was actively demoralizing the English bowlers.
The commentary described one shot that completely blew my mind. England's fast bowler Jamie Overton steamed in and sent down a delivery at 140 kilometers per hour. That is serious express pace.
Terrifying pace.
Pandya didn't back away. He didn't even take a full swing. He just arched his back, used the sheer momentum of the 140-kilometer-per-hour ball, and effortlessly deflected it with a no-look ramp shot right over the wicketkeeper's head for a boundary. He didn't even turn his head to watch where the ball went. He just knew he had manipulated the physics perfectly.
It's a shot that requires supreme confidence and hand-eye coordination. When a bowler steams in at that speed and sees the batter simply use their own pace against them without even looking, it shatters their confidence.
Yeah, you could tell Overton was shell-shocked.
And the punishment didn't end there. For the final flourish, a young batter named Tilak Varma came to the crease and scored 21 runs off just 7 balls. In the 19th over, he took Jofra Archer apart, hitting him for 3 sixes in a single over.
Which brings the first half of the match to a close. When the dust finally settled, India had posted a staggering total of 253 for 7.
Let's contextualize that number. That is the highest T20 World Cup knockout total ever recorded in the history of the sport. It is also the 3rd highest first innings total of this entire tournament.
Unbelievable.
What we witnessed was India returning to the hyper-aggressive, fearless batting template that made them virtually invincible in bilateral series over the last year. They threw caution to the wind and trusted their preparation.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Because the tables turn, and England is now staring at a monumental mountain to climb. They need 254 runs to win. The match analysis breaks this down to a required run rate of nearly 14 runs per over, starting from the very first ball. How does a team even begin to process that kind of mathematical pressure?
It fundamentally changes how you play the game.
Yeah.
You no longer have the luxury of taking 5 or 6 balls to assess the pitch or get your eye in. You have to take massive risks immediately. Now, to be fair to England, they actually hold a piece of history at this very stadium.
Oh, right, the 2016 match.
Exactly. Back in 2016, they famously chased down a target of 229 against South Africa at Wankhede. So they have the historical pedigree for big chases, but doing it against a fully energized Indian bowling attack under the immense pressure of a World Cup semifinal is an entirely different beast.
And it became a nightmare almost instantly. On the very first ball of the run chase, disaster strikes. Hardik Pandya, who had just finished frustrating England with the bat, takes the ball. First delivery, he gets the dangerous English opener Phil Salt to slice the ball high into the air. Axar Patel takes the catch on the edge of the fielding ring. Salt is gone for 5. England is 13 for 1, and you can sense the panic setting in through the commentary logs.
You could see the pressure visibly affecting the other opener, Jos Buttler. Buttler is widely considered one of the most destructive white ball batters on the planet, but the reports described him as struggling wildly for form. The commentary specifically noted he was losing his shape.
For someone who might not follow the mechanics of a cricket swing, what does losing his shape actually mean in a practical sense?
It's a physiological response to scoreboard pressure. When you know you need 14 runs and over, panic sets in. Your muscles tense up. Instead of a fluid, coordinated swing where your feet, hips, and hands work together in a balanced shape, your mechanics break down.
So it's like a golfer swinging out of their shoes and slicing it.
Precisely. You start swinging too hard, pulling your head up, and relying solely on arm strength. Buttler was swinging blindly at swinging deliveries from the Indian fast bowlers. He managed to hit a couple of boundaries, but they were forced, not fluent. The scoreboard pressure was acting like a physical weight on his shoulders.
And then came the screamer. This is the defining moment of the chase captured in the sources. We are in the fifth over, and Indian captain Suryakumar Yadav decides it's time to bring in his absolute ace, Jasprit Bumrah.
It's a brilliant tactical deployment of your best asset. You have England on the ropes. Their captain Hardik is at the crease trying desperately to rebuild the innings, so you bring on the most lethal fast bowler in the world to deliver the knockout blow.
And Bumrah delivers exactly what was asked of him. He bowls a deceptive slower ball to Brook. Now, because Brook is feeling that scoreboard pressure and trying to force the pace, he goes through his shot way too early. The commentary describes Brook's bottom hand coming off the bat handle, and he slices the ball.
Right.
That means he hit it with the weakest part of the bat, right near the handle, instead of the sweet spot. The ball goes high, high into the dark Mumbai night sky towards the deep cover point boundary.
And this is where we see a beautiful redemption arc for the Indian fielding unit. Axar Patel, who is stationed inside the inner fielding ring, has to turn and sprint backwards incredibly fast.
Which is so hard to do.
Catching a small white ball dropping out of a dark night sky surrounded by blinding stadium lights is incredibly difficult. But Patel keeps his eyes completely locked on the ball. He catches it with both hands and tumbles hard to the ground, holding on securely. It is a phenomenal catch under immense pressure.
Such a clutch moment.
The commentary pointed out that this was massive redemption for India, who had actually dropped several routine catches earlier in the tournament. They held on to the one that mattered most.
So, checking the live state of play from our sources, that leaves us right at the end of the fourth over heading into the fifth. England is absolutely reeling. They're around 44 for 2. Harry Brook, the captain, the guy who dropped Samson earlier, is now out for just 7 runs. Jacob Bethel has just walked out to the crease to join a struggling Jos Buttler, and they still need over 200 runs to win. It looks bleak.
It does. If we synthesize everything we've looked at from these match reports today, the core takeaways are very clear. India's success so far has been built on 2 pillars: fearless, aggressive execution and intense, specific preparation. Samson practicing for those short balls allowed him to dominate Archer. Furthermore, India expertly abandoned traditional hierarchy to capitalize on tactical matchups, like promoting Dubé to attack the spin. England, conversely, is currently suffocating. They are being crushed by the weight of early mistakes in the field and the insurmountable scoreboard pressure of chasing 254.
So what does this all mean? It's such a powerful lesson, right? Think about how this applies to you, the listener, whether you are managing a team, running a business, or just navigating your own career path. Preparation, putting in the tedious, hard hours, simulating the tough scenarios, exactly like Sanju Samson did with the throwdown specialist, is what actually allows you to capitalize on the lucky breaks you get in life.
That's spot on.
When Brook dropped that catch, Samson didn't just survive. He was prepared to dominate. The luck opened the door, but the preparation allowed him to kick the door off its hinges.
That's a great takeaway, and this raises an important question to leave the listener with today. Think about the hidden psychological ripple effect of a single mistake in a team environment. When Harry Brook dropped Sanju Samson when he was on just 15 runs, it obviously added physical runs to the scoreboard. But did it do something far worse?
Wow.
Did the guilt, the frustration, and the collective deflation of that single, highly visible, dropped catch quietly break the spirit of the English team before they even picked up their bats to start the chase? It's a fascinating look at the fragile psychology of high-performance teams, where one slip of the fingers can unravel months of preparation.
It really makes you wonder how heavy that bat felt for the English players walking out to the middle, knowing the mountain they had to climb. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive into an absolute classic of a cricket match. Until next time, stay insanely curious.